We will now hear from Nicole Amoroso, presenting Diversity or Disorder, Why High-Functioning Autism is a Neurodiversity.
I am autism. I am invisible to you until it's too late. I work very quickly. I work faster than AIDS, cancer, and diabetes combined. And if you're happily married, I will make sure that marriage fails. I have no interest in right or wrong. I derive great pleasure out of your loneliness. I will fight to take away your hope. I will plot to rob you of your children and your dreams. I am autism. You ignored me. That was a mistake. 11 years ago, an ominous voice whispered these words on a commercial made by Autism Speaks, the largest autism advocacy organization in the United States. They painted autism as a repulsive monster that steals away the real child and leaves behind an empty husk. Is this really what autism is? A horrible monster that steals away our children's real identity? People with autism themselves have risen up and said, no, we are not. They argue that autism is a beautiful part of their identity and should be appreciated as a gift. This video repulsed them because it implied that their value comes solely from their ability to contribute to society. Furthermore, many are concerned that this pattern of thinking could lead to the abortion of babies that test positive for autism in the future. Now these questions remain. What is autism? Is it a fiend to be fought or a gift to be valued? Is it a diversity or a disorder? Currently, psychologists define all levels of autism as a disorder, characterized by repetitive behaviors, challenges with social skills, and speech. The most severe form, low-functioning autism, often requires lifelong assisted living, whereas people with high-functioning autism can live independently. On the other side, autism rights activists argue that all levels of autism are a form of neurodiversity, a different way of thinking. However, we should take the middle road. We should classify low-functioning autism as a disorder and high-functioning autism as a neurodiversity. Because while dysfunctionality does denote a disorder, different ways of thinking do not. This also allows us to cherish diversity just as God did from the beginning with the creation of the two genders, male and female. Steve Silberman, an author of a book called Neurotribes, writes that just because a computer isn't running on Windows doesn't mean that it's broken. Similarly, not all atypical forms of human functioning are a system failure. In other words, just because someone doesn't think in the same way or have the same perceptions of the world as you doesn't mean that they're disordered. Temple Grandin, another great autistic thinker, says that people with high-functioning autism are different, not less. However, many of you have met someone with autism, and you see them jumping around or flapping their hands, or perhaps they can't even speak. You might ask, if someone has so many challenges, shouldn't they be considered disordered? Yes, someone with challenges that prohibit them from living independently should be considered disordered. Otherwise, they may not get the help that they need. This is the case for low-functioning autism. These individuals often cannot speak, let alone provide for themselves. So to recognize their disorder, to get them the help that they need, is the most loving thing we could do. On the other hand, people with high-functioning autism can live independently and can speak and do not exhibit odd behaviors such as jumping around and flapping their hands. They do exhibit troubles with socializing or reading body language, but to call them disordered will destroy their self-esteem and is unloving. So to summarize, people with high-functioning autism are neurodiverse, and this is both loving and logical. But why don't we see more people with high-functioning autism that have a job then? In fact, only 1 in 9 autistic adults are employed. If less than 1/9 of the autistic adult population is employed and can provide for themselves, how can I say they're neurodiverse? Well, the reason these individuals are unemployed is not because they are disordered, but because their employers cannot see past the autism. Most employers give their interviews in the form of face-to-face conversation, only seeing the lack of social skills, the stuttering and staring at the floor, rather than the skills the individual does possess. Rather than expecting these individuals to spend countless years trying to rid themselves of their autism as if it is a disease, we should make minor changes to our own lives. For example, Special Stern, a computer company in Denmark, performs their interviews by presenting the applicant with a Lego robotics set and having them showcase their skills rather than coming in for an interview. This addresses the problems that the person with autism faces while causing little to no trouble to the company. This can be done in a multitude of other ways. The ominous voice ringing out in the commercial that aired 11 years ago depicted autism as a monster, a grotesque deformity to be destroyed. I urge you to do the opposite. See the inherent value that people with autism possess and understand that they are a beautiful part of God's creation in the Imago Dei, the image of God. But most of all, remember, difference does not denote disorder. Thank you.